Hi guys, and welcome back. So we're picking things up from our last video where we talked about different types of warm-up. So we're going to get into our dynamic warm-up or general sequence warm-up. This stems from the Stretch to Win Institute's Core 4, which I will put in the show links. I recommend you could do this every single day, whether you're working out or not, and make that maybe a goal of yours to make sure you're getting your movement in every single day. Okay, so let's get started. Before we actually get started, I'd like to do a before and after comparison, just so you can do a check-in to see how your body's moving before and after. So we're going to do just 3 bodyweight squats. Let's get into our squat position again. Feet just under the hips, center pressure middle of the foot, and then open the knees as we descend down with our hips, so down and up. If you feel tight, pay attention to where you feel tight, right? It could be around your quads or your lower back, and you're just checking to see, paying attention to how you're moving. So the actual portion that we're going to get started with is we're going to position ourselves where our knee is down. I'd recommend putting a mat down just in case, just to buffer the knee. And we're going to start by just lunging forward, and as this hip opens, we're just going to squeeze the glute as the hip opens. We're just going to just rock back and forth and start with that. Okay, once we've done a few of those, as soon as the hip is open, we're going to lunge forward with our chin, and almost like a wave format, we're going to come out with a stretch like so. Okay, so lunging forward, squeeze the glutes, reach with the chin, and if we can, we want to time in your breathing so that we exhale as we wave forward. And then next layer we're going to put in is, as the hip opens, we're going to reach up with our hand and reach forward as we wave and exhale. Good, glutes, reach and exhale. Good, reach and exhale. And the last little portion we can do is we can do a bit of a rotation as the hip extends. Rotate and the eyes look at the hand, at the ceiling. And it's just going to open up into the abs a little bit. So we'll do one more. And exhale. Okay, I'll flip around so we can see the other side. Same thing. We're going to just start with the lunge forward, squeeze the glutes, and now add that reach with our chin. Exhale, and we're going to add the hand in, so the knee that's down, the hand is going to come up and reach, exhale, reach and exhale. And the last one, we're going to do a bit of a rotation with the hip, eyes to the ceiling and reach, and one more, exhale and reach, like so. Next position, we are actually going to be stacking the shoulders over top of the wrists, okay? And just knees under the hips, and we're just going to sit into the feet, right? Decompress the lower back, and as we come forward, guys, we're going to load the wrists, make sure the spine is neutral, and we brace the core, so we're just opening up our hips. So you might want to position your hands a bit further so we can actually fully open the hips. Again, there should be no movement in the spine at the front end here. Brace the core, again, rocking back and forth, just gentle rocks. Okay, from here, we're going to bring our knees back in together, and we're just going to shoot our hips side to side in dynamic movement, back and forth. And as I shoot to one side, I look over the opposite shoulder and try to regulate my breathing, so I exhale as I look over. You might notice one hip is tighter than the other, so you can spend a bit more time on that tight hip, or do a bit of a double bounce. So 2 contractions or bounces on that tight hip, back and forth. Okay, next one, knees in a bit wider again. We're going to sit in the feet to anchor our belly button to the floor. Okay, these are called elbow to sky, so some T-spine mobility. So hand at the back of the head, elbow to opposite knee, and we're going to try to get our elbows high to the ceiling as possible. Eyes follow the elbow. We're going to go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then same thing other side, push the hand into the ground, shoulder is stacked on top of the wrist, okay? Hand on the back of the head, elbow to opposite knee, and elbow up as high as you can to the sky. 2, 3, 4, and final 1, and 5. Good. Okay, so our last position, our next position, we're just going to sit on our butt, and we're going to point our fingertips back and make sure our shoulders are kind of set, so a kind of big chest here. And feet come out, so make sure you have some good spacing with your feet, and we're just going to let the knees drop to one side. So some internal and external rotation of the hip, and just back and forth. So again, the goal is not to jam your knees down to the ground, just where they naturally sit, just back and forth. So just do a few reps of those guys. Okay, so once we've done that, we can move to either side, and we're going to do both sides, but we're going to go to one side first here. And the orientation we want is kind of like a 90-90 position. Knees at the heel here, and hands come up, and split the knee like so. Okay, we're gonna go back into those waves now. So we're gonna reach up and over and exhale, and each time we're gonna change our orientation. So I'm just gonna start kind of more at my foot, and as I go, I'm just gonna move myself back. So up and over and reach and exhale. Over my mid shin now, reach and exhale. You might have to move your hands. I'm over my knee now, reach and exhale. A bit further back, reach and exhale. And last one, guys, we're gonna reach and exhale, and we're gonna keep our chest nice and low. We're just gonna hover back and forth. And again, this is kind of a scan-in or check-in for where you feel you need it most, right? So it might be towards your backhand, or it might be towards your front hand. So once we've done a few scans like that, we're gonna walk ourselves back so that this hip becomes open. We're gonna rest the back forearm on the ground, okay? And we're just gonna reach under, and again, add another rotation up to the sky. So opening the chest up to the ceiling, we'll go for another 5 reps. 2, again, trying to regulate our breathing. Big deep breaths and exhale. 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so we're gonna go back to our starting position. Like so, we're just gonna do a few more in the center, and you might notice that one leg or knee just drops down a bit further. Okay, and now we're gonna go to the same orientation on the other side. So knee at the heel, kind of a 90-90 position, hands come up, split the knee, and we're gonna do reach up and over and exhale. Over my midfoot, exhale, shin area, over my knee now, reach up and exhale. Behind my knee, reach and exhale. And then one more, reach up and exhale. We're gonna keep our chest nice and low. We're just gonna hover back, breathing, scanning where you feel you need it. Back and forth. And then the last position, again, we're gonna make sure this hip is open. Back forearm rests on the ground. We're just gonna reach under, open up and exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so let's go back to our check-in. So back to our bodyweight squats. Let's just do 3 reps again, and just try to remember how you felt before. And 3, 2, paying attention to those areas that you found you might have been tighter, hopefully they're a bit loosened up. And there we go. So I hope your body's feeling and moving a little bit better after that series. Again, it's called the General Warm-Up or Dynamic Movement Series. I'd recommend doing this on a daily basis, whether it's for warming up for any kind of sport or any physical activity, or especially just done if you're sitting at a desk or not moving that much each day. I'd recommend making this part of your movement series of the day. So please share any content, keep the questions coming, and please subscribe to my channel if you like it. Thank you.